global shift toward electric vehicles, EVs, is happening much faster than most people realize. Recent analysis from Bloomberg and other sources highlights a remarkable acceleration in EV adoption, especially in parts of the world many wouldn't expect, developing nations. Contrary to long-standing assumptions that poorer countries would lag behind in the electric revolution due to affordability and infrastructure challenges, a very different picture is emerging. In fact, enthusiasm for EVs is spreading rapidly across these regions, driven by the falling cost of ownership and a wave of grassroots innovation, particularly around solar energy. In many developing countries, citizens are taking electrification into their own hands. Households that once relied on unreliable or non-existent grid connections are installing solar panels, sometimes through informal markets or community-driven projects, to generate their own power. For millions, this has been a way to gain independence from costly electricity systems that are either unstable or prohibitively expensive. In places like Pakistan, for example, the surge in small-scale solar adoption has been extraordinary. Families and small businesses alike are using locally sourced or imported solar panels to power their daily lives, bypassing the limitations of centralized energy systems. In such contexts, electric vehicles represent more than just a new kind of car. They symbolize freedom from both fluctuating fuel prices and unreliable energy supply. This self-sufficiency makes EV ownership not only possible, but advantageous. When people can generate their own electricity, especially in sunny regions where solar power is abundant, they effectively eliminate one of the biggest costs associated with transportation: fuel. Instead of paying for gasoline or diesel, EV owners can charge their vehicles using sunlight. That fundamental shift makes the economics of EV ownership especially compelling for people in lower-income countries, even if the upfront purchase cost remains a challenge. According to Bloomberg's latest reporting, global electric car sales have soared by nearly 30% in the past year alone. This growth has been uneven, but undeniably unstoppable. While public perception in countries like the United States and Australia still tends to portray EV adoption as slow or uncertain, global data tells a very different story. The world is moving swiftly toward an electric future, powered by market dynamics, falling battery prices, and expanding production in key regions such as China. Analyst Adam Tooze, writing for Bloomberg, argues that the popular narrative of stagnation in EV adoption is simply incorrect. He points out that the transition to electric mobility is happening much faster than many policymakers or consumers realize. The trajectory now suggests that EVs are on track to dominate new car sales globally by the early 2030s. This transformation will have profound consequences, not only for energy markets and climate goals, but also for economic stability, geopolitics, and individual financial security. In 2024, the world saw roughly 17 million electric vehicles sold. That single-year figure exceeds the total number of EVs that existed globally as recently as 2020. China remains the dominant force in this revolution, accounting for more than 9 million of those 2024 sales, about 60% of the global total, and the pace shows no signs of slowing. By the end of 2025, China is projected to reach as many as 12 million EV sales for the year. In just a few years, the country's share of new car sales that are electric has jumped from around 5% in 2020 to nearly 40% today. In September alone, electric and hybrid vehicles made up almost 59% of all new cars sold in China, a stunning figure that highlights how quickly change can happen once affordability and infrastructure align. Bloomberg's New Energy Finance (BNEF) data indicates that China's EV market share is expected to hit 45% by mid-2025. This rapid growth is fueled not only by government incentives, but also by strong local manufacturing capacity and technological innovation. China's vertically integrated battery supply chain allows for significantly lower costs, and the emergence of new battery chemistries, particularly sodium-ion batteries, is poised to make electric vehicles even cheaper. Sodium batteries, which use abundant materials instead of lithium, could cut battery costs in half within just a few years. Affordable models like compact city cars priced around $10,000 have already hit the Chinese market, making EVs accessible to an enormous new segment of consumers. Europe, too, continues to push forward. Electric vehicles now represent about 25% of new car sales across the continent, bolstered by strong policy measures such as the European Union's planned 2035 ban on new internal combustion engine vehicles. Some European countries have moved even further ahead. Norway, for instance, serves as a glimpse into the automotive future. There, nearly every new car sold is electric, 98.5% as of September. That means only a tiny fraction of buyers are still choosing hybrids or traditional gas-powered vehicles. Such overwhelming market dominance has created ripple effects across the country's economy, including plummeting resale values for older, non-electric cars. In Norway, the electric transition is not a distant goal. It is already a lived reality. In contrast, the United States remains a laggard. EVs currently currently make up only about 8% of new car sales nationwide, despite strong growth in individual states. California, with its population of over 40 million people, leads the way with around 25% of new cars now electric. But many other states trail far behind, creating a fragmented national picture. Some U.S. automakers have expressed concerns about future demand. Ford's CEO, Jim Farley, recently warned that EV sales could decline sharply if federal subsidies are reduced or eliminated. A major pullback like that could leave the U.S. far behind its global competitors and undermine its domestic auto industry at a critical moment of transition. The economic fundamentals behind the global EV boom are clear. Battery prices have plummeted by around 90% since 2010, reaching about $100 per kilowatt hour. In China, prices are even lower, with lithium iron phosphate LFP batteries selling for roughly $55 per kilowatt hour at the cell level. This sharp decline has erased much of the cost advantage that gasoline vehicles once held. In many markets, electric cars are now cheaper to buy and operate than their internal combustion counterparts, and that gap is only widening. As sodium batteries and other new technologies enter mass production, experts predict that electric vehicles will soon undercut traditional cars across virtually every major price segment. Bloomberg projects that by 2025, global EV sales could reach 25 million units. That level of adoption would displace about 2 million barrels of oil per day by 2026, reshaping global energy markets and further accelerating the decline of fossil fuel demand. The International Energy Agency, IEA, has also acknowledged that the electric revolution is moving faster than most previous forecasts anticipated. China's role as both the largest consumer and exporter of electric vehicles underscores the country's influence. In 2024 alone, China exported over 1.2 million EVs, challenging established automakers across Europe, Japan, and the United States. This wave of competition is creating intense pressure on legacy car makers such as Ford, General Motors, Volkswagen, and Toyota. Many of these companies are deeply indebted and face mounting challenges as they try to pivot toward electrification. Even though they still sell millions of vehicles annually, their long-term survival depends on how quickly they can adapt to this new reality. Some are already struggling to keep pace with the cost reductions and innovation cycles seen in China and among newer EV-focused brands. Those that fail to transition in time risk losing market relevance or even facing bankruptcy as consumers and governments alike move away from fossil fuels. Despite these hurdles, the momentum toward electrification continues to build. The combination of technological progress, falling prices, and growing environmental awareness is proving irresistible. Global EV sales are rising nearly 30% per year, a rate that would have seemed impossible just a few years ago. Many analysts now view 2030 as the tipping point. By then, more than half of all new cars sold worldwide are expected to be electric. Once that threshold is crossed, the shift will likely accelerate even further as economies of scale, supportive policies, and consumer demand reinforce one another. The implications of this transition reach far beyond the automotive industry. Electrification represents a fundamental transformation in how the world produces, distributes, and consumes energy. If trends continue, global oil demand could fall by 20% or more by 2030, reshaping everything from national budgets in oil exporting countries to global investment flows. It is not just a change in transportation technology, it is a redefinition of the global energy system. As the world races toward this electric future, the message is clear. The transformation is happening faster than anyone anticipated. The once distant dream of clean, affordable, and self-sufficient mobility is now becoming reality, not just in wealthy countries, but across the developing world as well. Whether through rooftop solar panels in rural Pakistan or mass-produced EVs rolling off Chinese assembly lines, the global transition is already underway and there is no turning back.